It looks like we are almost ready to roll. Let's go ahead and get ready to get this going. Let's see. Okay, good. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Narik Chase channel. I'm your boy Narik Chase, and in this episode, we're doing another streamlined podcast. Well, not streamlined, actually. Let me go ahead and just take that out. It's supposed to be character ranker, but I'm a knucklehead, so I always get things mixed up. There we go. In this episode, we're supposed to be doing the episode of Character Ranker, episode number 7. And in this one, we're going to be talking about Ron Perlman as Hellboy. Now, Hellboy is one of those obscure characters I've never really heard of before the movie actually dropped. So, my knowledge of the character is very limited. But from this is what I have on the character so far. For those who don't know, he is a character under the Dark Horse comics, and he is a fictional superhero created by writer-artist Mike Mignola. The character first appeared in San Diego Comic-Con Comics number 2 in 1993. He has been depicted as a demon or half demon who was summoned from hell to Earth as a baby by Nazis during the war and was discovered by the Allied forces. With having been taken in by the Allied forces, he was inducted into the B.P.R.D, which is the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense, and he's been a good guy pretty much ever since. The B.P.R.D is basically the supernatural version of the Men in Black, but why he's with this corporation or this government organization or non-government organization, he basically go against more magical type characters, the Nazis that are, stepping their toes into magic and dark forces and witches and demons and monsters of the like. There were 2 films. Of course, everybody knows the films that had Ron Perlman. One was the 2004 Hellboy, and then he returned again as Hellboy again in Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, that came out in 2008. And unfortunately, there was a sequel that got canceled. So there is where we're at. But the topic of the conversation actually is Ron Perlman a good Hellboy? And I have to say, Ron Perlman's version of Hellboy is probably one of the most memorable performances of a comic book character ever. I mean, because he just completely owns this guy's character. When he puts on the makeup, he is Hellboy. Really appreciated that about his performance of the character. Now, Hellboy is his personality is depicted as being a pretty gruff character, but he's really likable. He has humor. At times, he has a bit of a charisma, but he can be easily angered over, just meaningless stuff. In some instances, he does act like a childish here and there, but that's because in his species of demon kind, he's relatively young, but to us he would probably be about 20 something or 30 something. But having said all of that and get the gist of his personality, Ron Perlman as an actor completely nails the role. He's always been depicted as a really good tough guy that's likable, that has a bit of charisma, is a smart ass, is tough, is gruff, and he just brings that to this character. He does a phenomenal job as Hellboy. And I know that they're rebooting the series, and David Arbor is going to be the new Hellboy, if you hadn't heard. And I didn't really know much about David Arbor until I started watching Stranger Things, and I realized he played in a couple of other movies that I saw, and I was like, he is a pretty good actor. I seen him in Black Mass. I watched him in The Walk Among the Tombstones, a couple of other movies. But I actually got to say he's actually a pretty good actor, so I don't really have any worries he's going to do justice to the character. But Ron Perlman definitely owns the role. One of the very few actors I've said, like, he owns that role. Like, it'd be very hard to... now, he's not just good. He literally is that character. So I definitely got to give it to Ron Perlman for the great performance. The depiction of the character does feel close to the source material. 'Cause I haven't read much about him, but I do know a little bit about the character. Um, and I think the depiction of the character himself, is actually just grounded. It feels like he's literally ripped from the pages of a comic book, and he's just he has that presentation about his character. And the main thing about his personality is that he's just a wise ass. He's just a smart ass. He knows how to hit those numbers. He knows how to hit those quips just like on point. But you can tell he cares about people, but he isn't afraid to fight and kick ass. He's not afraid to take chances. And yes, in the comics, it's not really a romance in it, but in the movies, there are romantic elements between him and Liz Sherman. And I think they're good. I think they're good. But I don't think we've seen the part in the movie where it's like it's Neo in the Matrix Reloaded when Trinity is about to die, and he does the whole super Mach 5 flying through the city to catch her, and it has this really good speech about how much he loves her. And yes, Ron Perlman Hellboy does get a moment similar to that, but I don't think it was given the emotional depth that it could have been. But it's probably because of the way that the movie was adapted and because of his character. Now, I have to, like I said, I really did really enjoyed his character. I thought they did a great job with the character of Hellboy. So let's just get on to the physical appearance of the character, which I actually thought looked pretty damn sweet. I will admit it does look like a costume because it looks like makeup and stuff, but it looks good. You know what I'm saying? You know how you have something that's obviously a costume, but but it's like it's lazy about it. Like you can tell that yes, this is a costume on the character on this guy, but it looks good. It does look realistic enough to be like yes, but it's like okay, Ron Perlman is kind of in his age and he's got a little bit of weight on him. He ain't the fittest guy. He ain't the best looking shoe in the bunch, but they do a great job with the prosthetics and the makeup and the way he handles the movements, the way he handles how he carries himself that does make it look even better. That's why I say yeah, you can tell it's a costume, but it looks fairly good. It does look great, and it does pull directly from the source material, which I did like. Now there is a difference in it that I'm not sure if people think it's an issue or anything because I personally didn't care. And in fact, honestly, I really don't like the design. I really didn't like the design of it in the comics. In the comics, he's more built. He's more top heavy built, and then it gets down to his legs. They got the goat legs, the horse legs, with the hooves. And I've never really liked that look. But in the movie, which they really don't, you really don't like see it like that. But he's got like regular feet, I guess. I guess he's got regular feet and it's not hooves because it was never emphasized that he had hooves. But in the moments where you see him fighting and moving and walking and stuff, like yeah, he's wearing shoes and boots, seemingly. And I think that his body looks a lot better, better proportion. So I think it looks fairly well in a live action adaptation. Then that's like one of the few things I said. Like the live action did a hell of a lot better than the comics. Is the fact that his build is better proportioned. But in the comics, you would think that because he's built like that, he's a pretty badass character. You know what I'm saying? He's got a lot of strength behind him. He is what a demon probably would look like. So, and that's why, like in the movies and the comics and stuff, I think the depiction of the physical appearance of the character actually looks good, and I think it does work a lot better in the film than it does in the comics. But that's just my opinion personally. Now, there is one thing that we will talk about, and that's his arm, the right hand of Doom or whatever the hand is. How does it translate over into the live action? I think it did a great job with it. Yes, at some moments it does feel kind of clunky. here and there, and robotic here and there. But I think they did a really good job with the way that it looks, with the way that it moves, with the way that he operates with it. I think they did a fairly good job with it. I think that sometimes that they probably could have done a little bit better with the mechanics because yes, there should be some moments where, like I said, the animatronics great. I think, but there should be some moments here and there where it could be a bit more use CGI here or something like that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Can't really tell. But for the most part, it's like the Thing when they had the Thing come out in the Fantastic Four movie that came out, I think, in like 2005. And the way the Thing looked, it's like yes, he looks rock, but it also you can tell it's like a costumes. So I mean, it looks good. It actually does look really good, and the prosthetic and makeup effects look really freaking awesome. Uh, but you can't help but you know what I'm saying. Even like with his actual body. Now there like some things that I've seen, I would have liked to seen a bit more to the character because he's been battling evil and getting his ass kicked here and there. I would like to see some battle scars here and there because you know he's been at this for a while, and I would like to see that he has some type of battle scars. Yes, he can regenerate and everything, but not everybody that regenerates or heals fast. You know what I'm saying? Heals fast like that, or he could have had significant wounds that take longer that heal. But it's not like he heals like Logan type heals. So you can understand sort of why there's no scars. But he does heal faster than a regular person. But even with like bigger scars or something from like a really badass battle, you'd be like, yeah, he probably should have some battle scars. That's one of the things I did like about David Harbour's version when they showed the picture of it. It looked like he's got battle scars and stuff, and his detail is a lot more detail to the like the muscular and frame and all of that. So but given what I had said about that, I actually thought that you know what I'm saying the physical aspect of the character, like with the horns and everything, was looked pretty good. Everything about the character looked pretty good. So as far as the performance, the actual representation of the character, as well as the physical appearance of the character, I think everything was actually on point. Now, I will talk about the character and the role in the movie. Like I said, I did bring up the fact that there was a bit of a romance in the movie, and the movie does, especially the fact both movies actually play on it, and they do form a central plot, the core to the plot of both of these movies. And I will admit that I thought it was pretty nice. And I liked Hellboy because at times he was very he felt playful, he felt childish, but at other times he was exceptionally serious. And I like characters like that can jump between back and forth between those different parallels because it shows it got a lot of depth and range, and I really like that. Um, Now, obviously, in the first movie, Hellboy is the instrument to the world's destruction, and they play on that. And he's having to deal with, okay, my origin is this. I am basically the reason why the world ends. And I like how that movie follows that, but it goes back to the whole romantic part that actually is the reason for the resolution of the film. And then in the second one, it again somewhat plays a strong role of his character, and he does a great job of developing in both of the movies. Even though he does keep that Hellboy charm. So as so you know, just talking about Hellboy, just getting the thoughts out there. It's a fun character, it's a likable character, it's a pretty badass character. And I'm sorry that we're not going to see the third movie with Ron Perlman to go ahead and wrap it up. Now I know people don't like trilogies like that, but I do like trilogies like that. So it's like start, finish, start, middle, finish. But I am going to say this. In the end, Ron Perlman did a fantastic job as Hellboy. The man just completely owns that role, and he's up there with like Heath Ledger's Joker. He's up there with Christopher Reeve as Superman. He's up there with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He's up there with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Chris Evans as freaking, you know what I mean, Chris Evans as Captain America. He's definitely got the chops, the charisma, and the wit for the character. And he definitely owns that character. So I would say Ron Perlman as Hellboy definitely deserves a 5 out of 5. All right, then, guys, in the comment section below, y'all heard my thoughts about Ron Perlman. Let me know in the comment section what you think about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get a casting choice list up in next video. When I do another character rank, I will. But maybe I even come back in another video and continue this conversation with a character that, casting choice for the Hellboy character. So, but anyways, guys, in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts about Ron Perlman as Hellboy. Tell me, did you agree with my points? Did you not agree with my points? Also, some things that I didn't point out that go ahead and just let us know down there. Be sure to stay tuned on Thursdays for more videos, as well as this Thursday for more videos that I will be doing. And also be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel. And when we do put videos up, you'll be the first to know. So we'll definitely catch you guys later. Narik Chasing Company, peace and out.